Hi, my name is Brona and I've created this podcast to hopefully generate some interest and spread some information on applied behaviour analysis as a tool for teaching people with autism. While not originally developed as a learning mechanism for autism, it has fast become a standard and well-known technique associated with improved learning. Autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder, meaning that in the developing stages of the brain, wires have become crossed to create different connections than those that would usually occur in somebody without autism. There are three key characteristics that an autistic person would usually demonstrate. The first is social impairment. Social developmental differences can be seen in early childhood. Autistic toddlers vary strongly from social norms, for example, demonstrating a lack of eye contact, while autistic children demonstrate less interest in other people, smile less, and pay less attention to social stimuli. The second is communication impairment. Communication impairment is also noticeable in the early stages of childhood, often characterized by delayed onset of babbling and speech, strange gestures, and a lack of responsiveness. Children with autism are a lot less likely to talk about their experiences or to even make requests. The final key characteristic is restricted interest in things and repetitive behaviour. An autistic person will generally demonstrate unusual and compulsive behaviours and a limited interest in things, oftentimes becoming preoccupied with a particular object. A lot of people with autism develop a strong resistance to change and can become distressed if their daily activities are altered or an object is moved from a position they are comfortable with. Applied behaviour analysis is used to create effective and beneficial behaviour change. What ABA does is use a series of techniques known as training, prompting and fading to teach behaviours, with its main goal being that a person will be able to act independently. Firstly, the task is divided into its component parts. Training allows for each part to be taught on a step-by-step basis, while prompting is used to encourage the child to complete each step. Fading is then the technique whereby prompting becomes less and less intrusive over time, so that the person does not become overly dependent on a particular prompt. For example, teaching a child to eat a banana could include these simple steps. Getting a child to pick up the banana, using physical and verbal encouragement. When this is mastered, prompting can become less invasive. The next step would be show them how to open the banana, followed by learning to bring the banana to their mouth. As each new step is learned, the previous step is expected to be done independently and automatically by the student. The end game of this process is that if a child gets hungry, they can act self-sufficiently and get and eat the food they want. This can be applied to such a wide variety of tasks, from asking for a drink from an adult to being able to complete homework. One of the key components of ABA is to ensure a person will apply their learned techniques to various environments. To do this, once a task is mastered, new people may be introduced to encourage the learned behaviour, so as to discourage the child from depending on prompting from an individual or depending on a certain environment to complete a task. Studies have repeatedly demonstrated the positive effects of early intervention using applied behaviour analysis techniques. A study conducted by Cohen, Amarine, Dickens and Smith used intensive treatments of applied behaviour analysis on 21 children in the hopes of improving IQ scores, language ability and adaptive behaviour. They also used a comparison group of 21 children with the same IQs and age who were in special education and public schools. They found that after 3 years, children in the ABA classes significantly improved their IQ and adaptive behaviour scores in comparison to the special education group. Neither group showed a significant improvement in language comprehension and non-verbal skills. However, of the ABA group, 6 of the children were placed into mainstream schools without assistance, while 11 entered mainstream schooling with some assistance. This shows a dramatic difference from the one student in the non-ABA group who entered mainstream school. What this means for people with autism is that through early intervention and proper techniques, they can become better implemented into mainstream society and develop the skills necessary to adapt to the world around them. These skills can improve chances of finding a job, entering higher education, becoming part of a complex conversation, living independently, and even provide a wider basis for discovering what things interest them. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and hopefully I've helped to shine some light on applied behaviour analysis as a teaching tool for children with autism.
Created using Powtoon.